Hey, Syna So Pro here at the St. Louis Public Library central location for the Monsters, Villains, and Superheroes exhibition. This is our next episode of Symphonic Wanderlust, a Syna So Pro experience. Check it out. Hey Wanderlusters, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Symphonic Wanderlust, a Syna So Pro experience where we, Sabrina Conaway and Syna So Pro, travel to different locations, spots, scenes, or attractions to write music based off the experience. In this episode, we are looking at our time at the St. Louis Central Library for their exhibition, Monsters, Superheroes, and Villains. Let's get into it. America's Monsters, Superheroes, and Villains is on display at the Central Library downtown in St. Louis, Missouri from October 17th to January 15th. So you have until 2023, the first 2 weeks in, to go and check it out. It's on the second floor of the library. We didn't really know what to expect. We kind of assume it's probably an exhibition trying to garner attention from the masses with all the success from Marvel and DC, mostly Marvel, live action films and adaptations and TV shows. But it's actually a history beyond that, a history talking about the archetypes of monsters, villains, and superheroes through literature, graphic novels, manga, anime, obviously comic books, movies, film, TV. According to the library, what they have on their website, the exhibition explores how iconic characters influence and reflect American culture from the 1960s to the 1990s. Monsters, superheroes, and villains have always been a part of America's cultural fabric. They scare us, they thrill us, and help guide us through the most terrifying and exhilarating moments of our lives. So, that is very true. The exhibition also has more than 500 exceptional objects, including vintage toys, posters, packaging, TV commercials, and movie trailers. Visitors of all ages are sure to enjoy the nostalgic visual survey of America's identity in the 20th century. So it was actually curated and put together by Super Monster Cities managing director Stephen Rueff. And all the paraphernalia of nostalgic vintage toys and books and literature and magazines were from David Barnhill's privately held collection. It's a lot, y'all. You could easily spend hours in there trying to read and absorb everything that it has to offer inside the space. We watched short little clips from each video display that was on during our time. We didn't stay and watch for it to cycle all the way back through until we knew, okay, we've seen this already, because we just didn't have that kind of time to stand there and watch. But it was some of those commercials back in the day. Well, I mean, they're not different than the commercials that we grew up on, but it's just funny because toy technology is kind of in a different space than it was in the 1960s with these black and white commercials where you have Batman and Joker and their hands are like this forever and maybe they can rotate their arm and that's it. We were really surprised. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe it's because whenever you say superhero, your mind automatically goes to Marvel and DC comics and stuff, but Star Wars was up in there, Star Trek. I mean, in a way, these human characters are playing heroes. Maybe not superheroes in the way that we think of them, but, they are Mr. Incredible. Actually, Syndrome's voice just kind of popped in my head. They are supers. Never mind.
They're supers! Get the boy!
So yeah, so seeing Luke Skywalker and a little whole section kind of dedicated to Nichelle Nichols was really lovely to see because she recently passed away. And I wonder if that was intentional, if that was originally a part of the exhibition or if it was later added or considered as an add-on. And we got our monsters Dracula and Frankenstein and the Mummy and all these things that lead to more terrifying monsters. We were probably there for maybe an hour and a half, but we think you could easily spend several hours up in there absorbing everything. It is free and open to the public. It is all ages, so bring the kiddos. Parking, there is metered parking at the library. So you will have to pay for meter parking, or, you know, if you want to take a little field trip, hop on the Metrolink and walk on down to the library and have a good time. Because there are no tickets, there was no line. The library was had some patrons. There was a little bustle to the library that day, and we went during a weekday, like in the midday. So, you know, it was fairly active, but still inactive enough to where you can kind of go at your own pace depending on the time that you go. With the music, the part that we focused on the most was this very large board game that Super Monster City curated and created themselves. So yeah, we'd like to go back with some friends and play this board game just to see. The idea is you yourself, your own body are the pieces. You're the pieces. And there is a large like little spin wheel that you dial and move however many spaces. But honestly, I might have to reread the rules, and because there's numbers on the dial. That's, you know, numbers on the dial, which in my mind means how many spaces you get to move, but then there's like directions that also say move 2 spaces. So like if you hit 6, it'll be like move 2 spaces. Like, wait a minute, wouldn't I move 6 spaces? Like, what's going on here? So that part was a little confusing, but luckily that person that helped us, I'm sure there'll be somebody there to help us out. If, you know, we're on the struggle bus of like, wait a minute, how are you supposed to like move and flow across this map? Whenever we saw that this exhibition was up, you know, monsters, superheroes, villains, we were like, ooh, maybe we can like write a theme for each. We have our monster theme, then we have our superhero theme, then we have our villain theme. And then we got there and it was just so massive. We're like, how about we focus on this game, this interactive game that you can play? It seems a bit more fun. So we don't know why, but while we were thinking of, okay, so if we're gonna do the board game, and this board game is called, God, what was it called? Not Tales from the Crypt. What was it called? Escape. Escape from the Crypt. Escape from the Tomb. Oh. We'll put it in here somewhere. We can't quite remember the name. But we're like, okay, we're escaping. So it had this like little jungle feel. So we wanted just to kind of like play around and experiment with that. But anyway, if you want to hear the track, you have to become a patron. So how many? No. What? Honestly, when's the last time y'all been to the library? Let us know in the comments. And if you've been to Monsters, Superheroes, and Villains, like, what did you think? Let us know in the comments. Okie doke. So if you want to hear the track, you'll have to become a patron of Symphonic Wanderlust, where you have 6 different tiers to choose from, ranging anywhere from $5 to $100. Take a look and see what each tier entails by clicking the link Patreon or Symphonic Wanderlust a Syna So Pro experience. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button. Follow us on social media with the handle @Syna So Pro, and feel free to send us a message and we'll be like, hey, you. How you doing? Anyway, that is all we have for you right now, but we do want to say we can't wait until next year. We have a lot of really exciting things happening, so stay tuned. Anyway, love y'all. Peace.